Okay, this is the top radiator tank that came from one bid, but it's going to go on Project 66R. Project 66R radiator is now in one bid and it's running very cool. This radiator only had two rows of core, and that's all it had, and it was overheating, so that was the wrong core for this radiator. It needs to have 3 rows of fins or core, whatever you want to call it. But the reason I have this, I picked it up at the radiator shop, is because it's dented on the top, quite a bit caved in there, you can see, and I'm going to attempt to push that out. And the inside's pretty clean, so we'll see how this goes. I've never done this before, but I don't want to start banging on this with a hammer or anything, but I got this old shoe spreader here, wood, with some nice round curves on it, and I'm just basically putting it in the bottom here and rubbing it. I got this nice thick towel here, and I've already done this area here a little bit, and it's actually taken most of it out. I was really surprised. I got a couple little spots, but I'm going to keep going on that, and we'll just see where we end up. Alright, I threw this thing in the bead blaster just so I could get a clear surface, because all the different colors was kind of deceiving. And I've been working it with this shoe spreader here, just doing some tapping on the inside and some rolling, and I got probably about 80% of it out. I got a lot of little dimples yet. I got something here I got to work on that. This isn't right yet, I got to work on that, but it's way better. This was all flattened out originally, so it's coming along. I just got to have some patience and just keep going along, see what we can do with it, make it look presentable. Well, I've been beating on this thing, lightly of course, for a good part of an hour, and it's looking pretty darn good. It's not perfect. There's one here that's behind a baffle, and I've been trying to get like the end of my screwdriver in there and working it. It's pretty good. You can still feel a little bit. But the nice part is I've got this all raised up. This was all pushed down. It's not perfect, but it's pretty darn good. You can see all the work I did in there. Very gently, I might add, because the last thing I want to do is perforate this tank. But we're going to let that go and have him solder that back on the new radiator. That'll be one step farther. Alright, I decided to throw a coat of some gloss black on it, and the black shows everything. It is not acceptable. It is very lumpy, and I'm really not sure what else I can do to it, because the copper is very thin, and I'm afraid I'm going to damage it. So I'm not really sure what to do next. I have been told that you can use that Alumiled body filler. It's aluminum shavings, I guess. Put a thin coat on that, and it's withstands high temperature. So I'm not really sure unless somebody else has an idea. But that's pretty poor, and I could probably work on it a little bit more now that I can really see all the imperfections, but I really don't think I'm going to get it to the point where it's going to be acceptable without putting some type of high temp filler on it, so we will see. I put it back in the bead blaster to knock off all that black paint I had on there. I did work on this for about another hour, just trying to get some of the really bad ones out, but this thing is pretty lumpy. You can feel it. I'm afraid if I work it much more, I'm going to mess with the integrity of the copper. So at this point, it's ready to go back to the radiator shop. They're going to solder it back on and pressure test it. I think what I'm going to have them do is not paint this top part, and I'm probably going to end up putting some of that aluminum high temp body filler on there just to take out some of the waves and stuff. I really don't know what else to do, because it's not like you're going to go uptown and buy a new one of these top radiator tanks, and almost every one I've seen has been dented in some way or another. Because people work on their car, they lay their arm on top of that, or their bodies, work on the carburetor, change spark plugs, whatever, and every one of them seems to be pushed in. So that's about it for now, and we'll see what happens after I get the new core installed.